Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into a profoundly captivating historical anecdote from the life of Imam Zayn al-Abidin. We're going to completely reframe how we think about value, character, and literally the true meaning of integrity. It's a short, simple story, but wow, it packs an absolute punch when it comes to understanding human character. Let's slow things down for a moment and really set the scene here. We're stepping back in time, far away from the noise and the rush of our modern world. Just picture Medina right as the sun is barely beginning to hint at the horizon. The streets, they're largely empty, just completely wrapped in the stillness of dawn. And in this quiet atmosphere, we see Imam Zayn al-Abidin walking peacefully through the streets, carrying a small sack. This isn't some grand procession, It's a deeply personal, quiet, just a routine morning walk. And that is absolutely crucial to understand, because true character, it's built in exactly these quiet, unremarkable moments, way before any external conflict or test even shows up. The source text gives us this brilliant insight into his mindset during the walk, noting that he went out every morning, quote, seeking only the pleasure of Allah. Just think about the immense weight of that. Before anything even happens in our story, his internal motivation is already anchored. It's completely pure. It is entirely disconnected from any sort of worldly gain or social recognition. His moral compass is already perfectly set. Let's move on and see how this all builds. It starts with that peaceful dawn walk we just talked about. But then there's a sudden shift. A merchant, just going about his regular business, unknowingly drops a small bag of coins. Almost immediately, the imam doesn't just stand there. He picks it up and actively starts searching the market. He puts in deliberate, physical effort to find this worried stranger. And within moments, we have a resolution. The coins are returned. The flow of events here is so crucial, because it shows us that integrity isn't passive. No, it requires immediate, decisive action. Now remember, the merchant dropped the money completely unknowingly. Meaning, if the imam had just kept it, the merchant would have never, ever known who took it. There was literally zero risk of getting caught. But instead of pocketing the pouch, he immediately begins a search. And here's the absolutely crucial detail. Every single coin is returned. Every single coin. This emphasizes the absolute completeness of the imam's honesty. He didn't take a finder's fee. He didn't hold a little back for his trouble. It was a total and complete restoration of exactly what was lost. So the merchant is obviously overwhelmed with relief and gratitude, right? And he offers the imam a reward for his honesty. But the imam, he just smiles politely. He declines the offer and simply says, "We do not seek payment for doing what is right." Wow, that response carries such immense emotional and moral weight. It reinforces that the act of returning the money wasn't a transaction. He wasn't treating a good deed for a tip. The good deed was its own required outcome. So picture this contrast. On one side, you have the merchant raising his hands in immense gratitude, his worldly wealth safely returned to him. And on the other side, the imam is walking away humbly, exactly as he arrived, seeking absolutely nothing from the world. The source notes that this exact moment became a profound public lesson for everyone who was fortunate enough to witness it. Now, what's really interesting about this insight is how the source material fundamentally redefines our entire concept of wealth. We usually think of wealth as, property, currency, or assets. But here, the text explicitly defines a believer's true wealth entirely through moral traits: honesty, sincerity, and trustworthiness. That is a massive paradigm shift. It means that true value isn't something you can just carry around in a pouch. It's something you actively cultivate in your character. Let's actually map these three pillars of the lesson directly back to the physical actions we just explored. Step 1 is honesty. This was demonstrated physically by the immediate returning of the dropped coins. Step 2 is sincerity. This was the internal state we saw at dawn, right? The dedication to seeking only Allah's pleasure way before anyone else was even around. And step 3 is trustworthiness. This was completely cemented in the climax of the story, proven through the absolute refusal to accept a reward for simply doing the right thing. These aren't just abstract words, they are real, actionable steps. Let's bridge the gap between historical Medina and your modern daily life. Like, why does this ancient morning walk matter to you right now, today? Well, this brilliantly illustrates a divide we constantly face. On one hand, we have the merchant's concept of wealth. It's tangible, it's physical rewards, it's literal pouches of coins that can be dropped, lost, or even stolen. On the other hand, we have the imam's concept of wealth: honesty, sincerity, and trustworthiness. This internal moral wealth can never be accidentally dropped in a market. It can never be taken from you. It is quite literally the only true possession you have full and total control over. Just to reiterate our central takeaway directly from the text, a believer's true wealth is honesty, sincerity, and trustworthiness. When you view your life through this lens, every single interaction, whether someone is watching you or not, becomes an incredible opportunity to increase your actual lasting net worth.